My sunrise on the darkest day got me feeling some kind of way. Make me wanna savor every moment slowly, slowly. You fit me, tailor-made, love how you put it on. Got the only key, know how to turn it on. The way you nibble on my ear, the only words I wanna hear. Baby, take it slow so we can last long.
Tú eres el imán y yo soy el metal. Me voy acercando y voy armando el plan. Solo con pensarlo se acelera el pulso.
Oh yeah, ya me está gustando más de lo normal. Todos mis sentidos van pidiendo más. Esto hay que tomarlo sin ningún apuro.
Despacito, quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído, para que te acuerdes si no estás conmigo. Despacito, quiero desnudarte a besos despacito. Firmo en las paredes de tu laberinto y hacer de tu cuerpo todo un manuscrito.
Sube. Quiero ver bailar tu pelo, quiero ser tu ritmo. Que le enseñes a mi boca tus lugares favoritos.
Favorito, baby.
Déjame sobrepasar tus zonas de peligro, hasta provocar tus gritos y que olvides tu apellido.
Si te pido un beso, ven dámelo. Yo sé que estás pensándolo. Llevo tiempo intentándolo. Mami, estoy dando y dándolo. Sabes que tu corazón conmigo te hace bam bam. Sabes que esa beba está buscando de mi bam bam. Me pruebas de mi boca para ver cómo te sabe. Quiero ver cuánto amor a ti te cabe. Yo no tengo prisa, yo me quiero dar el viaje. Empezamos lento, después salvaje. Pasito a pasito, suavecito. Nos vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Cuando tú me besas con esa destreza, veo que eres malicia con delicadeza. Pasito a pasito, suavecito. Nos vamos pegando poquito a poquito. Y es que esa belleza es un rompecabezas, pero para montarlo aquí tengo la pieza, oye.
Despacito, quiero respirar tu cuello despacito. Deja que te diga cosas al oído, para que te acuerdes si no estás conmigo. Despacito, quiero desnudarte a besos despacito. Firmo en las paredes de tu laberinto y hacer de tu cuerpo todo un manuscrito.
Quiero ver bailar tu pelo, quiero ser tu ritmo. Que le enseñes a mi boca tus lugares favoritos.
Favorito, baby.
Déjame sobrepasar tus zonas de peligro, hasta provocar tus gritos y que olvides tu apellido. Despacito, this is how we do it down in Puerto Rico. I just wanna hear you screaming, ay bendito. I can go forever cuando esté contigo.
Pasito a pasito, suavecito, nos vamos pegando poquito a
Que le
poquito.
enseñes a mi boca tus lugares favoritos.
Pasito a pasito, suavecito, nos vamos pegando poquito a
Hasta
poquito.
provocar tus gritos y que olvides tu apellido.
Despacito. Can we go back? This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Can we go back? This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
Return to the Mac. Get up what it is, what it does, what it is, what it isn't. Looking for a better way to get up out of bed instead of getting on the internet and checking a new hit. Me get up. First shot, hip strut walking. A little bit of humble, a little bit of cautious. Somewhere between like Rocky and Cosby's for the game. Nope, nope, y'all can't copy yet. Bad moonwalking, and this here is our party. My posse's been on Broadway, and we did it all way. Chrome music. I shed my skin and put my bones into everything I record to it. And yeah, I'm on. Let that stage light go and shine on down. Got that Bob Barker suit game and Plinko in my style. Money, stay on my craft and stick around for those pounds. But I do that to pass the torch and put on for my town. Trust me, on my INDEPENDENT hustling. Chasing dreams since I was 14 with the 4-track bustin'. Halfway across that city with the back question. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give that to the people, spread it across the country. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people, spread it across the country.
Can we go back? This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Can we go back? This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
Nah, can I kick it? Thank you, yeah. I'm so grateful. I grew up really wanna go fronts, but that's what you get when Wu-Tang raised you. Y'all can't stop me. Go hard like I got an 808 in my heartbeat. And I'm eating at the beat like it gave a little speed to a great white shark on shark. We raw. Time to go off, gone. Deuces goodbye. I got a world to see. And my girl, she wanna see Rome. Caesar make you a believer. Nah, I never ever did it for a throne. That validation comes from giving it back to the people. Now sing this song and it goes like, raise those hands. This is our party. We came here to live life like nobody was watching. I got my city right behind me. If I fall, they got me. Learn from that failure, gain humility, and then we keep marching.
Can we go back? This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
And all my people say,
can we go back? This is the moment. Tonight is the night. We'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Let's go back.
And welcome back to another night of volleyball here in Bulldog Arena. I'm your commentator, Cindy Mulvaney, here with my co-host.
I'm Coleman Stennett.
And tonight we're going to give you a little preview of tonight's game. The Lady Dogs are taking on the Rogers Heritage Eagles. And tonight, looking over this past weekend, the Lady Dogs went to the tournament in Nashville, Tennessee at Briarcrest Christian Varsity Invitational. And the Volley Dogs placed third out of 25 teams. Coleman, what do you think is so special about them going to those tournaments?
Well, especially away tournaments and competing against the better team, especially placing 3 out of 25, it's pretty good for the Volley Dogs.
Exactly, and something interesting to detail about this school, Briarcrest Christian High School, is that it is the high school of NFL player Michael Orr, who went there and graduated in '05. Michael Orr, maybe some of you guys have seen the major motion picture called The Blind Side, who was made after his life. It was about how this family, the Tuohys, adopted him and kind of gave him a better life, and it's a really empowering story. If any of you guys get to see it, it has Sandra Bullock in it, Tim McGraw, Lily Collins, some famous actors. Be good to see. Now actually currently he went to play for the Ravens, Titans, and is currently with Carolina. And I know Carly Galloway and some of the other girls said that was really neat to be able to kind of see that at the school and invitational that they went to.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're getting ready to hear the lineups.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Fayetteville, Arkansas, and Fayetteville Bulldog Arena for tonight's volleyball matchup featuring the Heritage War Eagles taking on the Fayetteville Volley Dogs. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and direct your attention to the east end of the arena where our nation's colors fly high for the singing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, let's introduce the starting lineup. Introducing first for Rogers Heritage, number 17, Becca Hofstra. Number 1, Brittany Ware. Number 3, Kendall Strickland. Number 7, Erica Reeser. Number 15, Tayana Wilson. Number 29, Brooklyn Head. And the libero, number 2, Berenice Morales. Rogers Heritage is coached by Lindsay Bitchick. Now, ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet and make some noise, and let's introduce the Fayetteville Volley Dogs. And your starters, number 32, Haley Warner. Number 18, Ariana Walters. Number 15, Ella Mae Powell. Number 8, Lindsay Milius. Number 5, Rosanna Hicks. Number 1, Lainey Daniel. And the libero, number 10, Carly Galloway. Fayetteville is coached by Jessica Phelan. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready, let's get on and play some volleyball.
Time to play the game.
Looks like we're about to get this game underway. One thing I want to say for the Rogers Heritage side is that it looks like 2 seniors are not going to be making it in for the Eagles. Isabel Firthaseth and Caitlin Brown will not be joining the team tonight. It looks like they have suffered from injury. Too sad to see 2 seniors not being able to play tonight, but it looks like there's going to be some other girls who are getting to play for them. It's going to be exciting to see. And Amelia Watley getting those girls pumped over on the Bulldog side. Sophomore showing her energy. we were about to get to, again, the girls doing their little handshakes that they normally do. That's always so much fun to see, you know, what they can kind of do. And also when they know some of the girls from the other team as well.
Getting the action started, serving for Heritage, number 17, Becca Hofstra.
Looks like Becca Hostrad is going to come in to serve for the Eagles. She's one of the players replacing the two seniors. Haley Warner sets up for LMA, and it's blocked by Heritage, and that's going to already be a point for them. Coleman, what kind of happened on that last play?
I think it was kind of a double tap on the Volley Dogs side. It kind of looked like she blocked it, and I guess the referee just didn't see it come over.
That was a really big block by them as LMA tried to get it over, but Warner sets it up for Powell again, and she goes right through the hands, and it stays in, and that's going to be a point for the Volley Dogs. So far, the score is tied. Now LMA Powell to serve. What do you think is going to help Rogers Heritage stand out tonight against the Volley Dogs?
Well, as you know, the Volley Dogs are a very good team. I think they'll have to really get past those tall people in the front court. Just watching out for those blockers and really spotting them.
Yeah, I think one thing that they definitely need to watch is watching last game. I mean, Fayetteville, if you let them, they will take advantage of you on multiple plays, and I think Rogers kind of knows that, watching them throughout the season. Coming in here, you know, they know that Fayetteville's going to be a tough team to go against, but overall, they just need to keep fighting throughout this entire game. And that looks like that's going to be out, and so Rogers Heritage already up by 2, but as we've seen from other teams, they cannot get comfortable. And we have seen it before, you know, other teams have gone up by at least 4 points, and Fayetteville has been able to kind of, you know, skyrocket past them and get at least a 10-point lead. And Lainey Daniels in the back, but Carly Galloway dives to save it. But it looks like Rosanna Hicks, you know, she tried to help Galloway out and just didn't quite get there soon enough. And I mean, that was a little bit of a miscommunication between Daniels and Galloway. Now to serve for Heritage is Brittany Ware. Nice high serve. Powell sets for Warner. And it hits the face of Ware. You could see that. That was a big kill, but it kind of hit her face pretty bad.
Number 23, Anna Cook.
Now Anna Cook comes into this game for the Volley Dogs, replacing Rosanna Hicks, and she's up to serve. Cook over the net. It's going to be set up by Hassan. Again, Reeser, and she gets it over, and you could see Reeser, kind of her face going, okay, like she kind of looked surprised at that.
I don't think she really saw that coming from him.
I don't either. It kind of just tipped. It kind of trickled over the net a little bit, and you know, she's still talking about it with her teammates. Again, Rogers Heritage up by 4. Up by 3. And it looks like Alex Bardo came in the game for Rogers Heritage. Haley Warner over, and she gets it. You could see Hostrad, she was trying to see if she could get that dig, but it tapped the floor right as she got her hands out. And look at Ware. Look at Ware. Look at the side of her face. A little concerning right now as her entire right side of her face is red from that monstrous kill from Haley Warner. Galloway to serve for the Dogs. Good sit there by Brooklyn Head. And gets over the head of Reeser, but looks like that's going to be counted as a point for Fayetteville. Volley Dogs only behind by 1.
Oh.
Galloway once again. Good save there. Powell sets it up for Warner once again. And big hit, but there, Ware again. She just couldn't get her hands out fast enough to save that in a dig.
Yeah.
It looks like Fayetteville is going to keep going with the serve. You know, what is going to make Rogers kind of stand out a little bit more? Because, you know, this is kind of a tough game for them.
I think communication is one of the keys to it. A lot of it being watching out for him.
And it looks
So,
like
yeah.
Watley just came into this game, and not Rosanna, Ariana Walters, and that was a big play by Amelia Watley trying to get it over to that defender, and she, kind of didn't see where it was going, and it went out of bounds. Point Fayetteville. Now Fayetteville up by 1. Set by Hostrad, over by Reeser. Amelia Watley again, but saved by Bardo. Hostrad again, it goes over, and Reeser kind of hit it out a little too far, and that's going to be a point Fayetteville. Now Fayetteville, the ones leading by 2. What makes the difference in a game when Fayetteville kind of, gets into that rhythm of theirs?
Well, their intensity is great when they're really into it. Just constantly trying to get it over the net and setting and making good sets for them.
And it looks like that's going to be in. It kind of just slightly stayed in bounds, and that was by Reeser. Looks like 2 new girls are going to come in to play for Rogers Heritage. Looks like it's going to be number 28, Morgan Bardo. And it looks like we have a sister pair, 2 seniors, Alex Bardo and Morgan Bardo. Powell sets for Walters, and she gets it over, and you can see already the girls on the side for Fayetteville just already jumping up for excitement. She hit the power out of that one. Fayetteville still up by 2. Warner back up to serve. And it looks like another girl for Rogers Heritage came in too. Yansbeth Sanchez, number 25. Set by Bardo. Reeser hits it over, but Warner's there to save it. Galloway sets up for Watley. Saves Bardo, and the other Bardo sister gets it over. Reeser over the hands of Walters and Watley. It looks like they just didn't have enough height in that defensive play.
Looks like she just barely tipped that over.
Reeser back up to serve.
Now serving number 7, Erica Reeser.
Nice height, Cook, catch on. Warner, high set, over by Cook. And Bardo sets it up for her sister. Looks like that's going to be another point Fayetteville.
Fayetteville on the front line, number 5, Rosanna Hicks back to serve.
Now
Number
coming
1,
back into this
Lainey
game,
Daniels.
Lainey Daniels and Rosanna Hicks. Daniels back to serve tonight for the Volley Dogs. Her first time tonight. I have loved watching Lainey grow throughout this season. Her serves have gotten more height each and every game, and she's become more aware on every play, and her communication has been outstanding.
Yeah.
Rosanna Hicks able to crunch it over, and them getting a point for Fayetteville. Score now, Fayetteville up by 3. This is sort of where, kind of leaning towards middle of the set, where Fayetteville kind of trickles their way up past the team.
Again, it's keeping that high intensity that they've always had when they're in it.
And what do you think Rogers Heritage needs to do to kind of fix that communication that they're having? Because it looks like, some of these girls are unaware sort of where the ball's going, and not really a lot of chattering over on the Rogers Heritage side.
Yeah. The coach is really giving him a lot of pep from the side, really encouraging him and coaching him on. But I think they're going to have to really start talking to each other and calling out their shots.
Bardo. And looks like her sister, Morgan, tried to go up there and save it, but hits the net too late. Looks like that's going to be a timeout for Rogers Heritage. You score, Fayetteville, they're starting to get up there, already ahead by 6. And, this is, Rogers knew that it was going to be a tough challenge for them, but one that, would definitely improve how they've been playing, especially for Fayetteville too. Every time they go against an opponent, they always learn and grow from the experience, and especially because some of these girls play together in club volleyball as well, so a lot of these girls kind of know each other, and just sometimes it's just fun to watch the talk on the court, because some of these girls just already know each other, already have some friendships, and Also, you know, fun to see the friendships that kind of form after games as well. Danny Daniels back up to serve. Fayetteville still up by 6. High serve by Daniels, saved by Bardo, and that nice dig. Head over. LMA Powell sets it up for Hicks, and Hicks gets it over. That is her second kill tonight.
This is a great kill by the freshman.
And again, it's still so hard to believe. Before this game, we were kind of talking to Rosanna, and you know, I turned to you and I said, I can't believe, you know, she's a freshman. She just has that composure of already a senior. Morgan, you can hear the coach. She was kind of giving some encouragement to Morgan Bardo, saying that was good, that was good. That's something that we haven't really heard too much from coaches, kind of giving encouragement out to their girls. Daniels again to serve. Bardo up to set for head, and it kind of bounced off the net a little bit, and that's going to be another point, Fayetteville. You can hear, you know, Coach Lindsay kind of talking a little bit to her assistant coach Webb, how, you know, they need to have more control in the front to be able to stop Fayetteville and to have enough height to control their passes as well. Bardo again over. Galloway goes up to Powell, and Powell sets it up, and Hicks gets it over.
Looks like she was a little too far back for the block. It kind of went under her.
She got a bat on her back from the team captain, Powell. Knows that was a good play from her. That's her first kill tonight, and you know, kind of looking like she didn't expect it to go over. You know, it's kind of a spontaneous play. Bardo passes it to her sister, sets it up for Reeser. Walters gets it over, but Bardo immediately to set up, and it gets blocked quick by Walters and Hicks. Just a little bit shaky over there on the Heritage side. You know, they haven't had the consistency that they've needed for this game. Daniels again, you know, she has had a great night tonight already serving. Powell sets it up for Hicks. Bardo saves it. Here, coach again saying you gotta bring it, you gotta bring it, and Hicks took advantage of that. She went over and she got the kill and point for Fayetteville. Fayetteville now 6 away from closing out this first set. It looks like Sophie Nolan is coming to play in this game. You know, we haven't seen much of her playing this year, but she is a senior, and like Coach Phelan, you know, she really tries to get in some of those senior girls into play, and Sophie has been a great asset to this team.
She really has.
She has been able in some situations, well, just like that one, Sophie Nolan and LMA Powell able to stop that block. You know, Sophie's that kind of girl that can come in a crucial moment and really help out the team and get those points. You know, we saw in a few weeks ago during the Harbor game, she was able to get 3 kills. And that was a really big thing for her. And, you know, just like we saw in that last play, she was able to block that ball and get that great set. And we will see you after commercial. Sorry, we're a little late getting back into action, but it looks like Daniels served it again, and it hits the net. You can see where she was just trying to get it over the net, just quickly hits, but always on guard. You could see kind of Nolan, you know, one of the things that I've kind of noticed about her is that she's very on guard. She's very quick and fast-paced. She knows when the ball is coming. Powell setting up for Hicks. Good save by Reeser. Bardo setting it up for Ware. Ware gets it through the hands of Nolan and Powell, but Powell again sets it up for Warner, who gets it straight over, and the 2 Bardo sisters weren't able to lunge and get that ball. That is a big play if you look on the replay. she just gets it over. I mean, they weren't even able to really move. You could see kind of Alex just standing there, kind of moving her hand a little bit, and then Morgan running in there to get it, but just too fast. You know, that's one of the things, Haley Warner, when she gets that kill going, it's so electrifying that it just is able to pass any defender. Head gets it over. Powell setting it up, but Warner sets it up for Powell. Rogers Heritage still able to hold on to it, but Bardo, she had a little miscommunication. You can see some kind of frustration coming from assistant coach Kelsey Webb. You know, she kind of seems a little down, knowing that her players, you know, have done all these plays in practice and just aren't looking as focused as she want them to be. Galloway passes to Warner. Warner sets it up for Nolan. It's blocked. Nolan setting it up for Powell. Powell getting it over the net, and that's a point, Fayetteville. Now Fayetteville one away from closing out this first set. Fayetteville with the serve. Reserve, but Bardo sets it up for Head and gets it over defenders Hicks and Powell.
It looks like it kind of tipped the hands of Rosanna Hicks as it goes out.
Check it in, number 15.
You know, and that was a good point for Rogers Heritage. You know, that was something that they were able to do very well. They were able to get past two of Fayetteville's top defenders. You know, and in those plays, you know, they really need to be more cautious about that. They just need to be able to know where some of those players are going, and they can make some of those plays. Ware getting it over. Good save, but Sophie Nolan trying to save that pass, and looks like that was going to go out of bounds. And Rogers Heritage last two times getting 2 points, 2 crucial points. And that's the thing, you know, now we're kind of seeing Rogers Heritage communication kind of forming back a little bit. Haley Warner trying to dive. She kind of slid out there to try to save that on a dig, but another point for Rogers Heritage, and this is what they need. This is what they need. They need to start gaining those points against Fayetteville and kind of working their way back up. How do you think that they are going to kind of do that in the next 2 sets?
Well, if they can spot those the big centers in the front, I think they can really try to get and really spot them. I think they can really try to get those points back.
And we will be with you after the break. right, it looks like we're getting back into action while we were at break. You know, again, there's a kind of famous song here at Fayetteville, kind of a traditional song called The Monkey, and you could see the whole team of Fayetteville kind of just doing that monkey dance, and it's really fun to see the traditions that they have here at Fayetteville, and, you know, especially kind of their motivation in the huddle. You know, Coach Phelan, she always does the countdown, 1, 2, 3, work hard. That always gives the girls motivation to get back out in this game. Powell back to serve. Looks like it's saved, but looks like Kendall Strickland is in this game for Rogers Heritage. She's
Little
a new player added.
miscommunication between Heritage.
Yeah, it looks like Strickland, she didn't really even see the ball coming over her head, and that was going to be an automatic point for Fayetteville, and that's, again, something that Rogers needs to focus on. They need to kind of contain that communication, and it looks like they had a little jitters to begin with, but didn't look like that on that second play as they get that point. You know, this is what Fayetteville always does. You know, their opponent comes in and they kind of, you know, score kind of similar. You know, scoring is about the same. And then there comes a point where Fayetteville is just able to just take over any team that they kind of go against. And I think what Rogers really needs to do is they really need to watch Fayetteville in those big plays, like Haley Warner just making that big kill right there. And Fayetteville leading by 1. And that's just something that they're going to, again, need to watch on defense. They need to be able to know where they are on the court.
Yeah.
Not only their players, but Fayetteville's as well. Cook up to serve. Good dig by Heritage. Reeser getting it over, and that's automatic out. You could hear the sideline just screaming out as they knew it was going to be. Looks like Cook back again to serve. Kind of tips the net a little bit, but gets it over. And that's going to be another automatic point, Fayetteville. You know, just these tiny mistakes that Rogers Heritage is making, and they just need to fix quickly in order to kind of finish out these last 2 sets. Another new player in for Rogers Heritage, Tayona Wilson, her first time playing tonight. Reeser gets it over the hands of Warner and Melius, Lindsay Melius in this game for Fayetteville now. But just still not quite able. Cook getting over, quick reaction by Wilson. Powell sets it up for Warner, and she gets it once again. Warner, that's about her 6th, 7th kill tonight.
Yeah.
Already in the beginning of the second set. I've noticed something with Haley throughout this past season and last season is that when she gets on a roll, you can't quite stop her. You know, she has that force and that kind of dominance that she's able to just kind of persevere against anyone when she gets into her rhythm. And that, Carly Galloway, that impressive play, the ball just kind of spinning over. Watley through the hands of 2 defenders, but looks like that's going to be out. Another point for Heritage.
Looks like it kind of went out just barely.
Looks like Alex Bardo up to serve. Powell setting it up for Melius, but gets it overhead. Thought she had blocked it off. Galloway again. Powell up to serve for Melius, and it gets over.
Really
kind of came this way and hit our TV a little bit. That's how you know it was kind of a big, powerful play by Melius. Galloway over again, good dig by Bardo, but just wasn't able to save it. You could see Hofstrud kind of running out of bounds to kind of save that,
Really
kind of
racing
running into
for the
the
loose
announcer
one.
desk. Galloway over, good save by Bardo. Galloway setting it up for Warner, and it was a double tap, so that's going to be over the net, and that's going to be point Fayetteville. What do you think Rogers Heritage coach Biosick is probably telling her girls right now?
To be honest, I think it's really trying to up that communication and trying to really know where and trying to call out those shots that are coming and really diving for the loose ones.
I think she might be telling them, like, you know, a new game plan.
Yeah.
'Cause they haven't really been able to work with each other or kind of spot out where Fayetteville has been on the other side. And, you know, that's kind of where they've been at a downfall, is they haven't been able to kind of watch where Fayetteville moves. You know, they kind of move in this pattern when they're at home, you know, moving in, you know, to the same spots. And, you know, they just haven't been able to catch on to that too quickly. And that's something that especially some of those underclassmen are going to have to learn when they come back to Fayetteville to play. Galloway back up again to serve. Bardo looking like she's going to save it, but is good by head. Walters gets it over, but is saved. Ware passing it to Reeser. Powell setting up for Watley. Gets it over the hands of Reeser. Powell once again. Galloway setting it up for Warner, and she gets it. You can see Hostrad, she was trying to like kind of block that off, but you know, she just didn't have that height and that release.
Kind of looked like she hit the bottom of her hand, and it kind of just barely tipped it and it went down.
Those are some of those crucial points that Rogers Heritage just can't give up. That's going to be another point, Fayetteville. Fayetteville leading by 9. Now Fayetteville is starting to break away and get back their big increasing lead. Reeser getting it over the hands, but saved by Galloway. Powell getting it over. Hostrad bringing it over to head.
Good block by Walters.
Powell setting it up for Warner, and again, that is, and you could see Carly Galloway going over to Cook, kind of apologizing, because early on when she kind of saved that ball, you know, she kind of collided with Hannah Cook, and you know, right after the play was over, you know, she told her teammate sorry. That's kind of funny to see, because you know, you didn't really even notice until then. Now Tabor Lobaugh is in the game, her first time in the game tonight. Carly passing it over to Powell. Gets it quickly over the net. Hostrad setting it up. Walters and Watley immediately getting it. Galloway sets it up for Watley. Reeser just not enough height. And Warner, and Haley Warner just easily one hand gets the ball over, and another point Fayetteville. Again, Fayetteville going point after point. You know, what is Rogers needing to do? What it needs to be their game plan to kind of just gain points back?
I think some of it has to do with watching those double taps and trying to really watch those people that are going to block it, like Ariana Walters.
Looks like it's going to be a timeout, and we will see you after the break.
Young Life enters kids' worlds to befriend them on their terms. We are in the right to be heard, to share the greatest story ever told.
I care about these kids here in this city because I was one of them.
I want all of them to see and to understand that they're valuable, they're important, they're significant.
The Young Life leaders in my life, they're like a light to me. They just want to be your friend and to know you.
Learn more at younglife.org.
And we are back into action. Galloway serving it over. And that's going to be an automatic out. Just, you know, just little mistakes here and there for Heritage. You know, they just need to get kind of that pattern and repetition back. You know, they haven't had that repetition throughout this entire game, and it seems like Fayetteville has just kind of had that. You know, they've been able to play after play, just constantly making, you know, good decisions on the court.
Yeah.
And Rogers just hasn't been able to kind of come onto that, but it looks like things might be changing as they just got a point back. You know, that was a crucial big point for them, as they need to get some points on the board right now. Looks like Morgan Bardo's coming back into this game for Rogers Heritage, as well as number 25, Yanzabeth Sanchez. Looks like Loba trying to get in there for a dig. Doesn't get it, she shakes it off automatically. And Rogers, you can kind of see some more energy and kind of their spirit coming back, as they haven't really had that through this game. Powell setting it up. So through the hands, and looks like that's going to be another point Heritage. Something that I've been seeing throughout this past game is that late in the first set, we kind of saw, even though Fayetteville had that big lead, Rogers Heritage was able to kind of get point after point after point against Fayetteville. It's kind of like whenever they get those points back, they get 4 or 5 points back before Fayetteville has a chance to get another. And that's a big tactic that they have, and that's going to be big in other games that they play in the future. Warner back up to serve. Galloway setting up. Warner sets it up. Tips it over a little bit. But Bardo setting up for Reeser. Reeser, she just didn't have enough control on that ball. She kind of looked like she jumped backwards and not enough time to get that ball, so it kind of flicked off her hand.
Looks like she almost misplaced it a little.
You can see Coach kind of telling her her mistake, kind of telling her what to fix. Warner once again. Hear a little bit of a chant over on the Fayetteville student section. And that powerful kill by LMA looks like it's going to be another point for Fayetteville as it kind of tipped the hands of Head and Wilson. One thing I'd like to point out is we don't, looking at the student section, Coleman, that's not normally the regular student section that we usually see. It's right now, tonight's student section is composed of Woodland and Ramey volleyball players. As both teams were honored tonight by the Fayetteville Lady Dogs, and I know that was something really special for all of those girls to kind of see, some of those girls that they kind of look up to, give them that special recognition. And so they're here tonight catching out their team that hopefully some of them will play for. Bardo setting it up, gets it over the net. Warner setting it up. Gets it over, but good save by Bardo. Good save by Galloway, diving in between 3 of her own players. Bardo setting up for Reeser. Reeser is able to get it over, saved again by Galloway. Powell, just little bit of a flick on the wrist.
Too far out.
You can see Warner, she tried passing to Powell, and, it kind of like it went from Powell having that massive kill to, not getting the ball with enough height.
Number 7, Erica Reeser.
Reeser again with the serve. Warner setting it up, but a little miscommunication. You could kind of see Warner saying it was a double, and you can see that LMA was kind of going up to the net to talk to the ref. Warner and Powell now talking about it. Trying to argue that it was a double touch. And LMA, you can see that she looks a little confused.
Yeah.
Still looking a little frustrated about it, but let's see if she can kind of turn that around. Reeser again serving. And nice dig by Loba. Looks like that one's going to already go over. No one touching it. It's going to be a good ace for the Volley Dogs. And looks like Sophie Nolan and Claire Cooper are going to come into this game. This is the first time tonight that we're going to be seeing Claire Cooper. Cooper was, something funny that we kind of saw last week is we saw a few of her friends, or family members, having a sign that said number 28, is my role model, referring to Claire Cooper. And that's nice to see, classmates, teammates, and friends come out and, kind of show that support. And Fayetteville 4 away from closing out the second set. Cooper, Bardo setting it up for Head. Galloway quickly to save it. Warner up to set for Powell. Powell gets it over the net. Keeps it alive over there in Rogers Heritage. And that's going to stay in. Elizabeth Sanchez getting it over. Looks like 2 new players are going to come back in for this Heritage team. Number 15, Tayona Wilson, and number 2, Bernice Morales. Morales with the serve. Warner sets it up for Walters. You can hear Higgs right over on the sideline, kind of standing up, saying, "Go Ari." You can tell that those guys are pretty close, and point for Fayetteville. Now it looks like 2 new girls for Fayetteville are going to come into this game. Jaden Weller and Lindsay Melius. We haven't seen too much of Melius on this varsity team. We kind of saw her early on in a few games, but now she's kind of equally on both JV and on varsity. Claire diving in to save it. Weller in the backcourt getting that good dig. Powell setting up, but she saves it after it was blocked. Warner setting up for Sophie Nolan. And Sophie Nolan's kill looks like it's going to go out of bounds, and it's going to be a point for Rogers Heritage. Galloway coming back into this game for Jaden Weller.
For Heritage, number 17, Becca Hofstra, and number 3, Kendall Strickland. Back to serve for Heritage, number 17, Becca Hofstra.
Good dig by Ella May. Melius getting it over. And that's going to be a double tap, apparently, by Sophie Nolan, and that's going to be another point for Heritage. Something that they kind of need to watch. Served by Hostrad. Warner sets it up for Melius, and she gets it over the net, and that's going to be a point for them. As kind of looks like Wilson, she just couldn't get a handle on the ball. Now, Bulldogs 2 away from closing out the second set. Powell has had some great serves tonight. She was able to get some monstrous rallies to happen and get some good points for Fayetteville. Powell setting up for Melius, but it's blocked off the net, and Melius, you know, before
looks like
she
kind of lost it there.
Yeah, before she realized that it was blocked by the defender, she kind of turned around to look at her teammate, kind of thinking it was already a point, and it just went back over. That's something that's good that Rogers Heritage needs to do. They kind of had that sneaky, spontaneous play, and they just need to keep kind of making more on those on this kind of team like Fayetteville. Galloway sets it up for Warner. Warner immediately sets it over, and it's in. Ware kind of sliding to the edge of the court to get that one.
On the front line, number 6, Amelia Watley, back to serve. Number 23, Anna Cook.
Cook up to serve. Sets it up Galloway. So Powell immediately sets it over, and Ware, you know, she kind of looked back. She didn't really see, you know, who she was really passing it to, and that's again the communication aspect of it. They need to kind of get a basis for it, and we will have more with you after the break.
What's up, Northwest Arkansas? This is Christian with JJ's Grill, asking if you like great food, live music, and having a good time. We have daily specials, Northwest Arkansas's best buffalo wings, free live music, and don't forget, kids eat free every day of the week. Our kitchen is open till midnight, so grab your friends and family, do your mouth a favor, and stop by any of our locations. Football season is here. That means it's flip for your burger time at JJ's Grill. Feeling lucky? Come in during any NFL game, and we'll flip a coin to see if your burger is free or not. We'll see you soon at JJ's Grill.
We take great pride in serving our Arkansas neighbors, which is why we've provided a commitment to our communities where we live and work for over 85 years. Chambers Bank is a proud sponsor of the Fayetteville High School football team and would like to say, go Bulldogs! Built on tradition, sustained by excellence. Chambers Bank, the natural choice for the natural state. Member FDIC.
Looking forward in the future, you know, what does Rogers Heritage need to kind of do to kind of fix this miscommunication that they're having and just fix this overall game plan that they're kind of having, because you can tell that coach has been kind of, trying to get that discipline in them throughout the entire game, that you need to have control over the ball, and they just haven't quite been able to do that tonight.
I think they have to put in a little more effort trying to go dive for those loose balls. It's going to be hard to really call those shots when there's nobody really around you to, especially in the backcourt.
Exactly. Not really effort per se, but they need to have more repetition of just getting those balls in accurate places, because they just haven't been able to do that tonight. And there's still one more set to go, and let's see if they can try to figure out what they need to fix. And they've been working really hard at it, and as we've seen, there have been times where when they get that point, they were able to just stack on points, 4, 5, 6 points in a row against Fayetteville, and that's a big thing that they have, and especially playing in other games, and that's something that on Fayetteville's side they need to watch for Rogers Heritage, because they've been able to get those points out of nowhere and just kind of overcast Fayetteville, kind of take Fayetteville by surprise a little bit when they get those points. We're about to get back into playing again. Fayetteville, just every time a new song comes on, these girls just start dancing and just, start getting fun with each other. And looks like Walters and Galloway showing a little bit of fun. Walters again going up on the sideline, high-fiving everyone.
Started on game 3, serving for Heritage, number 17, Becca Hostrad.
Now Hostrad back again to serve for Heritage as we begin this new set. Daniels back into this game for Fayetteville. Galloway with a quick save. Powell setting up for Warner, and not enough height on that set by LMA, and that's going to be a point automatic for Heritage, but that is not even seeming to phase Fayetteville, as we saw some big laps from Warner and Hicks just now. Hostrad once again. Warner setting it up for Hicks. And looks like from research, she was kind of shaken up on that. Looks like that kill from Rosanna Hicks kind of hurt her hands a little bit, as she was kind of shaking them afterwards and grabbing them. And that kind of shows you how much power Fayetteville players actually do have. Reeser passing over to Wilson. He gets it over. Galloway immediately getting it. Powell setting it up for Hicks over the hands of two defenders. Ware over the bat. Powell setting it up for Warner. Through the hands of Ware. And you could see Coach kind of saying that, the height, it went right through the height of her hands on Morales. And, that's something, too, that the coach, Rogers Heritage, she's just noticing throughout this game. And, they just haven't been able to fix it, especially that's another big communication play on that, as Morales, she looked like she was going for Reeser, but instead the ball went way out of bounds. And that's going to be another point Fayetteville. Fayetteville up by a 2 lead. Over the hands of two defenders. That was a nice play by Kendall Strickland, as she was able to get past Hicks and Powell.
Back serving for Heritage, number 1, Brittany Ware.
Ware up again to serve. Over the hands of two defenders, but they get saved by Schrock. Warner and her ball getting over the hands and getting another point for Fayetteville.
On the front line, number 6, Amelia
And it
Watley.
looks like Amelia Watley and Anna Cook are going to come in for Rosanna Hicks and Lainey Daniels. Cook back up to serve. And Hicks kind of over on the sideline, a little funny thing just happened. I mean, Hicks, kind of stole Hicks's spot, her normal spot that she has sitting at the end of the bench. And that was kind of funny to see the reaction from Hicks. She looked at her and she said, "You stole my spot." And that's just a really funny thing again to see the knickknacks that they do.
On the front line, number 29, Brooklyn.
Back into this game, it looks like Alex Bardo is back into this game, and she's about to serve. Powell setting it up, and it gets over. And it's going to be another point, Fayetteville. Walters coming back into this game real quick.
On the front line, number 18.
Hicks looking like she's just behind her, coming back in a little bit later. Galloway with the serve. Reeser trying to get the kill, and it looks like she got the point.
Yeah.
Warner and Walters, it looks like, looked a little confused as they thought that it may have been out of bounds. And sometimes it's hard to tell in those kinds of situations because you don't necessarily know where it's directly going, and sometimes you see the power from the ball, especially with some of the girls over in Rogers Heritage. They've seen sometimes Haley Warner getting that powerful kill and just sometimes backing away from it, thinking it's going to go out of bounds, but really it stays in bounds. And if they don't really catch that, it'll kind of get over their heads. And that was this pass play, good play by Rosanna Walters. Ariana Walters, excuse me. It's a big kill. Just like you see on what I was talking about just then, Rogers Heritage. That was a big play, and it kind of just, they backed away from it because they knew it was out of bounds, and they were able to get that point.
Number 7, Erica
Reeser with the serve. Amelia Watley hitting the point for Fayetteville.
On the front line.
And automatically, Lainey Daniels and Rosanna Hicks are going to come back into this game for Amelia Watley and Anna Cook. Daniels back to serve for Fayetteville. Fayetteville still up by 2. Daniels serving. A little low serve. Bardo sets it up over the hands of Powell and Walters, and you could see Hicks kind of sliding in the back to get that dig, and it just wasn't quite.
Looks like she almost landed on one of her teammates' head.
Back to serve, number 2, Morales.
Looks like number 2, Morales with the serve. Automatically going to be out. Point Fayetteville. Fayetteville still up by 2, getting those points in.
Check it in, number 37, Carly Unruh, and the serve, number 20,
Looks like Carly Unruh and Tabor Lobar are going to come back into this game for Carly Galloway and Ariana Walters. Lobar with a high set. Morales, just you could see her, just no teammates around her to kind of help her with that ball. You could kind of see she hit the ball and just let it kind of hit the ground. And
she really dove for that one, though.
It looked like she was expecting for a teammate to kind of rush out and help her, but in actuality, she could have maybe tried to push that ball a little forward. Like on that play just then, she kind of fixed that little mistake. Powell up to set for 100, and she gets it. Point Fayetteville. Fayetteville now up by 4. They're kind of slowly getting their lead, and we will be with you after break.
Electricity is a lot of things to a lot of people. And although it's only been 75 years since electric cooperatives electrified rural America, it's hard to imagine a time without it. It's there with us each and every day. For us at Ozarks Electric Cooperative, providing reliable, affordable electricity is a chance to connect with our members, to be there when the lights turn on, to innovate, and to continue finding ways to improve our members' quality of life. Electricity is whatever our members need it to be, powering their lives every single day.
Little message that we heard from Coach Rogers Heritage and assistant coach Kelsey Webb. She was kind of telling her girls, you need to put all you have into this last up to set final minutes of this set. She's right. That's throughout this game, they have let Fayetteville kind of take advantage of them just a little bit, and they have been able to kind of return the message over to Fayetteville, but not consistently. Low ball up to serve. Bardo setting it up, gets it over the hands, but saved by Daniels. Powell setting it up for Hicks. And it looks like it was blocked, but he was able to get over the hands of Bardo and Sanchez. Fayetteville now leading with 5. Tabor Lopar serves have come through in the past for Fayetteville, and she's done an excellent job. Another high serve from her. Racer. And Powell able to just come up out of nowhere and just get that kill.
Yeah, looks like LMA really saw the spot open, so she pounded it there.
And that was a good, quick play by her. That is possibly going to be a necessity for them later on in possibly a playoff game. And it looks like Hicks was able to just easily just slam that down. Good defense for Fayetteville. Now kind of looking like it did during the second set. Fayetteville now up by 7. Slowly getting their big lead. Bardo sending it up, but just teammate wasn't able to get it. And excuse me, it looks like Caitlin Brown, the senior that apparently one of the coaches crossed out on the list, is playing tonight. It looks like she's in this, Brown is in this game.
A little too much power on that serve.
So maybe looking at Caitlin Brown, maybe she had, you know, possibly a slight injury and she told her coaches that she could play tonight, because it looks like she is fine and well. Hostrad with the serve. Werner setting it up. He gets over the net. It's another point for Fayetteville. Fayetteville 10 away from closing out this final set.
Back serving number 15, LMA Powell.
Powell back up to get the serve. Big hit by them, and just looked like
little miscommunication there by Heritage, as no one really dives to get the ball.
Looks like Strickland, she just didn't really have another player open. It's kind of like a repeat we saw with Morales a few plays earlier. That ball they are going to say is in when all the Rogers Heritage players looked like it might have been out. And then another point from Fayetteville. Fayetteville up by 10. This is when, you know, we've seen Rogers kind of prevail and get those points after points, crucial points that they needed. Another point, Fayetteville. LMA Powell tonight has been on fire with her serves and being able to get up on the board. A high, powerful serve from Powell. Hostrad setting it up for Wilson. Galloway. Powell setting up for Warner. Goes over the hands of Strickland. And Strickland just looking a little bit wobbly out there. You know, she kind of, you know, didn't have quite a handle on that ball. Fayetteville 6 away from closing out this final set. That's going to be.
Check it in for Heritage, number 1, Brittany.
That's going to be a point right there for Heritage. You know, and now we're kind of seeing, let's see if they can get another point in a row, and let's see if they can get some of those crucial points back on the board. Looks like Brittany Ware has come back into this game. She's serving for Heritage. Powell setting up for Hicks. Over the hands of Wilson, but saved by Strickland. Powell setting up for Warner.
A hard spike by Warner.
Just getting it past Reeser. And you can see no one could touch her on that kill. Morales, Reeser, you know, just didn't really have a chance up in the backcourt to get it. Looks like Daniels and Hicks are making their way down the bench. Looking like they may come back into this game. Cook with the serve, a little low. Hostrad serve to Reeser over the hands of Warner, and that's going to be a point back for Heritage. Heritage, looks like Alex Bardo is going to come back into this game, as well as Brooklyn Head. saved by Bardo. Head getting it over. Galloway, kind of a forceful scream saying why, as she just didn't think that was good. Good rally right now. Back and forth, but Heritage needs to get those points, and they did. As it kind of looked like Head was kind of pushing on Watley, and she was able to get her to kind of get it out of bounds. Bardo back again to serve. But that's going to be a point Fayetteville. But you can see the coaches for Rogers Heritage still being positive about this game. You know, they keep saying, you know, good job to their girls, and they know that they knew that this was going to be a tough game tonight. But you know, they have been able to hold their own up against this two-time defending state championship team, and you know, they've done an excellent job on multiple plays. Right there, big communication, but looks like it almost was saved by Ware. That was an excellent effort by her, launching out into the back.
Really racing to get that ball that was falling out of bounds.
And you could just hear, I just saw the coach, and she basically said, great hustle, but no communication. That is exactly what she said, and I mean, it's kind of right. You know, she tried to pass it on back to Strickland, and Strickland, she just wasn't really connecting with her. Shot into Strickland, and Strickland getting it over. Another point for Heritage. Checking in for Heritage, number 25, Angela Sanchez. Number 28, Morgan Bardo. Fayetteville 3 away from closing out this final set. Powell setting it up for Warner. And it looks like it went 2 out of bounds, and it hit the announcers and stat table. A little shocked. You could see one of the stats people writing it down. It just kind of popped into her space. And Sophie Nolan coming back into this game.
Number 8, Holly Ward.
Fayetteville 2 away from closing it out.
Number 32, Haley Warner.
It looks like Holly Ward is coming into this game for Rogers Heritage. This is the first time that we're going to see her tonight. Saw her being a big impactful player on JV, and this is, you know, first time coming in tonight, so let's see what she can do. Fayetteville 1 away from closing it out. Let's see. It looks like a big effort for them as they are trying to keep this game alive. And a good block by Heritage, good block by Head. And Sanchez, as they keep this play alive and get another point. And it looks like coming into this game, Holly Ward, you know, she was the one that saved that ball in the backcourt, keeping them in this game. Warner getting over to Nolan, and it's blocked by Sanchez and Ware. Excuse me, Head and Ware. Girls on Heritage getting pumped. Looks like the Fayetteville side was expecting something maybe a little bit different. But they know that they have one more point to go. Powell, excuse me, Warner set it up for Powell. And it hits the net. It looks like that is going to be the game winner right there for the Bulldogs. You know, what's something that we've seen tonight from Rogers Heritage that was really good and well equipped by them?
Really spotting those blockers, trying to find where they were going to pop up. But what also really shocked me was how they blocked. They got a few blocks off of Haley Warner, along with Ariana Walters and LMA Powell. So it was really surprising to see that from them.
Exactly, and I mean, these girls, they just keep getting better and better every week, and it's exciting to see them play, especially, but You know, they have had kind of a rough season. I mean, not a rough season, but they've lost twice again to the same team, a big rival Bentonville, and it's going to be exciting to see what they can do later on down the road and possibly another matchup against Bentonville in a potential playoff game. Well, that is all that we have here tonight in Bulldog Arena. I'm your anchor, Sydney Mulvannon, here with my co-host.
I'm Coleman Stennett.
And we're saying good night from Fayetteville.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there.
Do you want to dance?
Yeah!
You know you make me wanna kick my heels